Well, howdy everyone. In my last video, I discovered that I had spider mites, and I don't know exactly where they came from because they are basically everywhere, indoors, outdoors. Somehow they got in here. I had a grow of sweet potatoes in here prior to this, and they were in there for over 6 months, and I never saw a sign of a spider mite. But these have been in since December, and I never saw a sign of a spider mite until just the other day when I saw their tents. Usually you'll see webbing on the underside of leaves. I never saw that. The only symptom I saw was the edges of the leaves curling, and I thought that was due to humidity. However, I don't know if we can magnify this and if there's any on there. I think I see an egg right there. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you may be able to see them. They are pretty small. Well, actually, they come in all sizes. Some of them you actually cannot see unless you use a magnifier of some kind. Others may be more visible. So the thing is, we need to spray these, and if you're organic, you can use neem oil. You can also use insecticidal soap, and the thing about that is you must make contact with them in order to kill them. They don't have any residual effects, so if you don't hit the bug or hit the eggs, you're gonna be starting all over again. So what I do is I like to leaf strip, because look at this. You're not gonna get 100% coverage in foliage like this. So the best thing is to take off the offending leaves, and I've done this with cannabis, where I've actually taken off everything but the top few leaves, and they come back. It does stunt them a little bit, but then they flower harder than ever. Now this is a little different, I have to admit. I've never leaf stripped vegetables, but I am going to. And what you want to do though is, because these leaves are diseased and have bugs on them, you don't want to put them in your compost pile, because you're just going to be spreading the problem. What I have is a couple of bags, and I'm going to put the leaves in there, and I'm going to start to leaf strip. I'm not going to bore you with the whole process. So basically, what you can do is get the leaf at the stem, pinch it off with your thumb, like so, and little by little you'll start to open up the plant to where you can get in there and spray. Because like I said, you need to be able to get every stem that you leave. Now in this case here, I would probably leave these top leaves, and I would probably take off everything else. Because I can spray this, and I can, if I have it all cleaned up, I can get at the stems that are down here, and I can get everything, and I need to get everything in order for this to work. So I am going to stop this here, and then I'm going to come back and show you what the plants look like when I'm done. This tomato is going to be a challenge because it's a really big plant, and I might have to prune off some fruit in order to get everything open. So we'll see. So I'll be back. Okay, so I would be lying if I said that this was not labor intensive, because it certainly is. You may think I've killed my plants, but I assure you I have not. If you take a look at these stems, these things are going to come back from the bottom. I probably could have just cut all the branches back and they would have been fine. I think you want to remove as much of the trash from the bottom of the pot as you possibly can, because you don't want to give them anywhere to hide. And I have to tackle this tomato plant now, and I am probably going to have to prune it pretty heavy. I may take off a lot of the fruit. That's okay. I know it will grow back, and I know these peppers will grow back, and you can see it's pretty easy to get at all of it when you spray. Now I do want to mention, if you use neem oil, it can sometimes damage the foliage, so don't be surprised. You'll need to spray these at least 2 times, maybe even 3. The life cycle of these things, they lay eggs, and the eggs are hatched in 5 to 7 days. So you need to get back in there a week after your, no later than a week after your first spray, to make sure you got everything. And I'll come back after I tackle the tomato plant. Well, as you can see, I was merciless with this tomato. There was just too much there to consider leaf stripping it. If it grows back, and I'm pretty sure it will, that'll be great. If it doesn't, I have a tomato plant in my kitchen garden, so no big deal. I did save, well, here's one of the bags. You can see a lot of tomatoes came off. I just, you know, I just needed to do it. Here's a cluster off that plant. Pretty impressive, actually. So I saved it. That's more tomatoes than I'll ever eat. And then I've got a bunch of peppers that I took off. So these are the spoils of war, I guess. And these are just the war casualties. I need to clean this up. You want to get all the leaves out as much as you can. You might consider vacuuming around your plant, because anything that's debris, they can hide in or live on. And I know this looks pretty drastic, but these plants will recover. I guarantee you they'll be growing like hotcakes here pretty soon. This will stunt your plants They will probably sit there for about a week before they decide to grow. The tomatoes got to come back from scratch, so it might take a bit longer. But I will come back in and I will document when these things start to regrow. And I have to give them a spray. And then I'll come back in about 5 days later and spray them again. And we should be off to a clean start. You know what I used to do when I was growing cannabis, after a grow was done, I would bring an ozone generator in my closet and cleanse it. You can't do that with live plants, it will kill them. But if you use a closed space like a closet and put an ozone generator in there, it will kill anything that's alive. And it will get, because it's a gas, it can get into crevices that you couldn't possibly clean. So I used to do that, and then when I planted my sweet potatoes, I didn't. And then after they were done, I didn't. And I don't know if it would have mattered, because I think these spider mites came in from somewhere else. But that is another tactic to sterilize a grow space, is to use an ozone generator. You can get one on Amazon for about 80 bucks. You know, I don't know if that's worth it for you, but I already have it. So when this grow's done, you can bet your bottom dollar I will be running it. I run it in a space like this. I run it for about an hour, and you don't want to breathe it, so you have to do it in an enclosed space. If you're going to do it in your house, you want to leave. And you want to make sure that you don't have any plants or anything, or any pets that are in there, because it'll kill them too. Okay, so that's about it for this week. And this is a little bit about leaf stripping. Now you can see that it's pretty easy to get in there and spray every leaf. It doesn't matter whether you use neem oil, insecticidal soap, or you even use, well, you don't want to use an insecticide, because spider mites are not insects. They're more closely related to spiders. They're arachnids, I think is how you pronounce it, and a lot of insecticides won't kill them. So unless you want to spend $500 a gallon for a commercial miticide, which I don't recommend, these are your options. You can spray them, hope you get everything, or you can strip them first and have an easier time spraying, and hopefully the little buggers will be gone by the time your plants come back. So I use this Solo hand sprayer here, because it makes a good fog and I can get all sides of the leaf. And yeah, and I do want to mention, don't do this unless your plants are healthy. This will not help sickly plants. You need to have healthy plants to strip the leaves, because they need to be able to grow back. Alrighty. So that's it for now. Take good care of yourselves. Happy gardening. Don't forget, keep it green. Alrighty.